special good morning to all our listeners and viewers. It's To The Point. Today being Friday. It's the 14th day of February, Valentine's Day. Good morning to those of you who are celebrating your Valentine's Day today. Happy Valentine's to you. Those of you, of course, via social media platforms, let me say good morning to you also. Wherever you are around the world, listening and viewing, I wish you a beautiful day also. And if you're into the Valentine stuff, well, all the best to you. Show the love as the day, of course, we do that for this particular day. Show the love. Hey folks, we have an open line edition on To The Point this morning, which means you listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling in 435-2041, double options, where you can call via the WhatsApp, or you can call me directly 435-2041. I'm going to give you all this today. Yeah, I'm going to listen to you, express your views, your concerns on issues, of course, that you may want to speak about. Feel free to do so on today's program. The lines will be open to you, and you can certainly have the option of doing so. If you want to send a message via the WhatsApp, you can do that also. You probably don't want to call in, you don't want nobody hearing your voice or stuff like that, but you prefer to send a message via the WhatsApp. You can do that also here on the program this morning, 435-2041. I have no particular subject matter I would like to kick it off with, so I certainly going to let you folks out there, or listeners and viewers, take the option of starting it. You may bring up a certain subject matter that others may want to participate in or share their views on. Feel free to do so during today's program. I beg of you also, keep your contribution short and of course to the point. All right, and let's get going. Don't forget. You also have the option of lowering whatever device you have in the background. Please, before you decide to make that call, whether it's the radio, the television, have it turned off. Make that call. You certainly will hear me directly via the phone line, so we don't have any issues at all as we proceed this morning. I also, we do have our very first caller. Let's go to the line and say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, Judy, good morning. How is everything?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm pretty okay. Living in the best.
All right, man. Let's hear from you. What's your contribution this morning?
The government is nice, having nice talk is true, but you have to be walking. When you're talking, you have to walk the walk. Don't talk nice, and then walking the walk.
Mm-hmm.
Independence speech in the park was very short. I don't know the reason why the government, the Prime Minister, gave a short independence speech.
Maybe just didn't have much to say this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what something to say to these people. Put you to tell them what is going on, what is what. Repair the roads, patching of the road in the nation need doing, man. The patching of the hole in the roads, all the whole road need patching up. Western road, the eastern road need patching. You don't want to pave, you need patching. Patching is important. All everybody get the grass cut on the side of the road, tall grass on the side of the road, and everything. You got them days, the disease is going to do it better. The better than the whole days. So don't come and get worse. Better we want. You don't know what's up. We want better. Leslie.
I like that word you made up there. Thank you so much. Wasara. Good morning to once again 435-2041. 435-2041. The lines are open. Let's thank the folks from Glen for, of course, keeping us hydrated in the studio here, folks. And thank them so much. 435-2041. Once again, the lines are opened, and you're free to calling and make your contribution this morning, whatever it may be. Of course, keeping with the lines of course, mutual respect. I certainly request that you do so also. 435-2041, the lines are open. Let me say good morning to the drivers. I always like to say good morning to the drivers on our nation's roads. There are areas where roads may be wet, so your friction will be reduced a whole lot. So I beg of you to reduce your speed. Let's say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning, and you're welcome.
Hi, good morning, GT. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you this morning?
I'm blessed.
All right.
This is a kind of concerning.
Tell me.
Last week I saw so much of vehicle on the port. And I'm talking because of jealous who have the vehicle. But when I see the problem with who don't have vehicles, that you need to use the road. The vehicle supposed to be in the lane, and who using the road supposed to be in the lane. But at times, GT, the vehicle want to come in the walker's lane, and that is very dangerous. So I don't know what you could do, and I just asking them when the vehicle comes, instead of just leaving it exposed and the put, if they could get something and cover it, because when you walk on the road and you see all these vehicles coming against you, it makes you hot.
So you want to take the fright away from the port part.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
once you don't see it, if you don't see it, it doesn't bother you yet.
That's right. What I just see those ports. And the next thing I find, like, if they want to get rid of this gas vehicle, so I wonder if in the next 5 years, this vehicle and them going to be a white elephant to the buyers there, because the way all they're doing is, to me, like they want to get rid of that to bring another group. So people who buy now want think, or they must think about it long and hard and think what's taking place. And lastly, we had two political parties in Grenada, NNP and NEC. And yes, everybody fighting for the party. The amount of water I get from mine just because I love being the little NDC. And other people, well, we are accustomed with that. You back in your house and I back in mine. So we are accustomed with the situation. But today, what I see now, NNP fighting against NNP. And a person like me, you will hear NNP coming and complain now. So sometimes I just have to zip my mouth and don't say nothing, just to listen, because things were so nice. Less than 2 years now, and now you've seen a next thing. So I don't know what's going on. No, Papa, you have a good weekend.
You too, my dear. Have a good one, and the best wishes goes out to you. Have a great day. All right. We go to the WhatsApp line this morning. WhatsApp caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, a couple of questions for you, really. Everything is nice, so no complaints this morning. GBN, which is Classic FM, right?
Yes.
The radio, I'm watching it on YouTube, right? So that's on the TV. Is it on all day long? That's question number one.
Were you talking about the YouTube channels?
Yeah.
Well, it's the YouTube channel is usually not on all day, but if you want to see all day, just a sec. If you want to see it all day, you can probably go to the GBN's website. So only when there's particular live program, you may see the YouTube channel, more or less.
Okay.
All right.
So at the moment, I see you on Innocent.
Yes. So
and then sometimes that other program you just do after you do to the point. But
once we are doing a particular live program, it will be on our YouTube channel. But you want to see the extra programming from GBN, you could go to our GBN's website. That is on 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right. So question number 2.
Yeah.
When I'm in Grenada and I'm in the car, what's the frequency?
If you want to listen to classic radio, it's 105.5 if you're in the southern part of the island. If you're in the northern part of the island, you have 105.9.
Okay, thank you very much for your... Have a nice weekend.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
All the best, and best wishes goes out to you. Caller, you're live. I guess we lost the caller there. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go to the phone line once again. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, GT. How are you today?
Doing good. What about you today?
I'm great.
Happy for that.
I'm calling on the authorities, the police.
Yes.
To really stop these guys from selling on the sidewalks. They got the fridge and the drinks. You see what happened yesterday in town between St. John Street and that's Halifax?
There was an incident that occurred there?
Dodge the bottle. You know, we used to play dodge the ball. Dodge the bottle.
Okay.
Right where the store bought in Vienna House.
Yeah.
It was bottle after bottle pelting people passing.
All right, so there was
two guys. Yes.
So there was a fight.
It's also all over social media. Dodge the bottle, I tell you. You see them ECC one, dodge the bottle, repeat offenders. The police need to do something about that, man. They need to stop them on the side. They're selling these at the fridge and so. You know, they're right on the corner going up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope they're hearing.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. Appreciate it a whole lot. 435-2041. 435-2041. We go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
A couple of things quickly. The roads, yes, they are indeed terrible, but I'll hasten to say that the extended rainy season is a two-edged sword. Because for one thing, it exacerbates the holes in the road. When the water goes into the holes, makes them bigger. And on the other hand, it also prevents the roads from being patched. You can patch road when rain is falling. So I hope that people are understanding what is happening here. We're not having a regular dry season. And so the road work that should have probably started in January will be pushed back. And the holes will be larger than normal for this time of the year because the heavy rains are coming down. Having said that, two things that are trending. One of them has to do with this still matter of independence. I think as on your program yesterday, someone made a very valid point. We don't seem after 50 years to understand what independence really means. Independence was not an event. There was a declaration 51 years ago that we're now an independent sovereign state. It meant that from that day, we took responsibility for not just our internal affairs, but also our external affairs. So we now have a Ministry of External Affairs, we could have ambassadors, we could do all those things, but we have total responsibility for our country. It doesn't mean that that day we became independent in the sense, but it's a growth process. And when I hear some people mention certain things, like last year, the opposition leader was saying that we should give 50 houses that were donated by somebody as a gesture for our 50th anniversary of independence. That baffles me, that we don't understand what independence means. The things that we are doing to make us no longer dependent on others are the things we should celebrate. People are, for instance, saying that Maurice Bishop shouldn't be there. Apart from Gary himself, who was brave enough and bold enough to make that great leap, I don't know of anyone else who had done anything as transformational, right, towards making us an independent country as Maurice Bishop during those 3.5 years. So if you understand what independence means and the process of becoming independent and not begging others, I think he has a he's had a major role to play in making us independent, right? Don't go and say the stadium is an evidence of our independence. No, it's not. It's not proof of our independence. It's proof of our dependence on others to reach out to us. So I think there's a whole confusion as to what it means. First of all, it's not a day, it's not an event, it's a process. And let's look at the things that will help us to become more and more independent and less dependent on others. Now, yesterday there was this news again about the NNP, and I did hear the new leader of the party say, I think a couple of nights ago, no more talk about resignations. I guess she knew what was coming down the pike. So she said, no more conversation on resignations. I want to listen to the reasons that were cited why these people were disgruntled and they were leaving. These are the same things that I was saying before, about the way in which the then leader, as leader of the country, was running the country. So what the country felt before, the favoritism and the bias and the manipulations, now they're feeling it in the party itself. And they vex. They liked it before, but the whole country was being subjected to it. Now, the party is feeling it, and they don't like it anymore. But that's the nature of the person. He always puts his thumb on the scale. He influences even the smallest decision, and I have been a victim of that more than once, many times. So what people are crying about now is what many of us already knew on the larger scale. But in the party, suddenly people are waking up and seeing the nature of the man. He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Best wishes goes out to you. 445-2041. Lines are open, folks. It's to the point, open line edition. Seeing a contribution from someone via the WhatsApp, and they're saying, good morning. We need in the cruise ship terminal a wheelchair access. People coming to the wharf have to be in the road like cars. And that's someone making a contribution there. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, your life. Good morning.
Greetings, Mr. Telesford. How are you?
Doing good, sir. How are you this morning?
Pretty all right.
Good,
Listen,
man,
Mr. Telesford, sometimes I hear things that really do arouse me, stimulate me, to an extent agitate. But when they face the direction that I would like to go, I feel good. Your previous caller, re-independence. Interesting commencement of a debate. I wish to establish, the thing is I have a problem talking slow, but I want to make sure my message goes well. I try it as fast as possible. Listen, when we talk about independence in Grenada, we leave out a very powerful word, the qualifying word, and it's just accepted with independence. I remember a couple of years ago asking today the person who today holds the leadership of the political party, the NNP, if she had a definition for independence. And what did she tell me? Well, there's no country independent in this world because everybody depends on each other. That is not what we're talking about. And we can't be misled. We're talking about political independence, and in effect, what it really means is to gain sovereignty, and I want us to underline that word, sovereignty, over your country. Grenada has never been politically independent for the simple reason that we do not have the sovereignty over our country. We are reigned over by a king who is sovereign in another country. And the line had not been clearly established because we still swearing to that person or that monarchy. So we're not politically independent. So don't give people the impression that when you talk about independence is a process. No, you're either independent or you're not. It's straight. So what I'm proposing here, therefore, Mr. Telesford, that in your programs that you have scheduled for, how you call it again, caramba, the one on Monday nights, man. How you call it again?
Oh, you're talking about
Beyond the Headlines.
Beyond the Headlines, yes.
I would like you to get a team of people to go in this here country. There are people all over the country. Bring them on to debate these subject matters. Independence as it relates to self-reliability, self-sufficiency, self-sustainability. In other words, you can do everything for yourself. Of course, there's no country in the world that has that capacity. As even Uncle Sam recognized, being the biggest and richest, not biggest, but the richest country in the world. And political independence, so we can educate the people that we don't have all these diverse spreading around there to making people more confused. Are you with me, Mr. Telesford?
Get a point,
for what is worth, do have a nice day.
You too, sir. All the best. Best wishes goes out to you also. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live.
Greetings to you, Mr. Telesford, and to your listening audience. May I ask you one question, please, sir?
Go right ahead, please.
If you get up one morning and you see snow in your backyard, what would you do? I mean, in Grenada?
If I notice snow in my backyard, if I get up one morning, what would I do? Well, it will be a cause for concern for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be happy about it. I'm not. It's not going to be until it actually happens I will see my reaction at the time.
Because I'm thinking, with the radical climate weather changes we're having, it might be a possibility. But my humble suggestion is that, be prepared. I believe in preparation. Get up some warm clothing, hold on some winter clothes. We have families in diaspora. A lot of people go in the diaspora. But you know what? What's with heat? Just in case, a cold pot. You get up, your place really cold, your house cold, because we don't have the heating system. We can light a cold pot. But nothing wrong in getting a little heater from the States. I mean, I believe in preparation.
All right.
I know it's a terrible thing for us in the Caribbean. Houses are not prepared. Our animals will suffer, our crops will suffer, but we should, I think preparation is key. And people who are building houses again, just as now they commanded that people who are building houses build systems for rain harvesting. I suppose we may have to think building our homes in such a way, or buildings in such a way that we could survive if we see snow in our backyard one morning when we rise up. Have a wonderful day, sir.
You too, caller. Have a good morning. And sometimes, folks think a little far ahead, but it's not bad to think that in that particular way. We'll take a final one in this segment before the break. Let's take this caller before the break. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
I like how this lady is thinking, because we're surprised when we get things that hit us at the spur of the moment. We have to be prepared, and it's not impossible, because I don't think anybody in the world rules the world, because we say we have a spiritual person whom we call God, who rules the world. So he may change things, and possibly we are getting changes all through the era. So once we could expect those things happening, what I find funny now, anything happening now in Grenada and all over the world. For example, we have people doing things and saying things that are not true. And a lot of us believe what they have said is true. It's time that we know what word to use and what word not to use. We are living in an independent country, not an independence country. And we want to teach people, including myself, and yet we do not understand, to some extent, the English language and the construction of it. I'm not an expert on it, but as far as I'm concerned, a lot of us are using words that we should never use, and we said we are intelligent. I don't know. Yes, we could have poor intelligence. So I don't know. Sometimes something have to happen now, where leaders have to get people who could we can learn from, not people who want only to use the money in their interest, and the poor people are suffering. I have listened to many people complaining. We have problem with people being affected by the police. We have road problems, and yet we say we have export and we have machine to do it. In fact, I can see how a little piece, as people say, a little small piece of road would take 6 months to build. For example, around this place by the Cal gas station. In other parts of the world that are progressive, people who are progressive, you pass one night, and the next morning you pass, road finished, and yet you're giving them contract. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if I was a contractor, my mission is to make money. So if I do it in 2 days, when I was taking 10 days, I don't think I would make money. So we are smart, but yet we are not sensible.
Thank you, caller.
We're stupid smart. Thank you.
Have a good morning. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it when we come back. More of your calls here on the program. Stay with us. The Open Line edition up to the point for today, Friday, the 14th day of February. We'll be right back after the break.
Are you ready for the ultimate celebration of love? Saturday, February 15th, Love Fest takes over the breathtaking Quarantine Point Recreational Park from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Live band performances from Boise and the Bad Squad Band, Ajamo, Cole Baldio, Solid the Band, Pan Wizards, plus DJ Danny, Mr. Cheeks, and Fearless Kevon. Indulge in chocolate making, candle making, outdoor dining, Latin dancing, Cupid's Playground, a singles mixer, beauty bar, Love Fest shop, and and a cocktail and drinks bar. Get your tickets now, just $100 for one, $180 for two, at Grenadian Optical, Melville Street and Spiceland Mall, Eventbrite, or go to fet.com. Or pay more at the door. Visit www.yourlovefest.com for updates or follow at Your Love Fest on social media. See you at Love Fest, Saturday, February 15th at Quarantine Point Recreational Park.
Grenada, the ultimate relay showdown is back. Get ready for speed, power, and heart-pounding action as the IMA National Relay Meet takes over the Kirani James National Stadium on Saturday, February 22nd from 3 p.m. The fastest teams, the fiercest competition, and non-stop edge-of-your-seat excitement. Who will dominate the track? Who will claim the glory? Only one way to find out. Be there. Tickets, finish line A, $50. Finish line B, $40. Main stand C, $30. Secondary stand, $20. Bleachers, $15. Children 12 and under pay $15 for the main stand C, secondary stand, and bleachers. Get your tickets now and experience the thrill of champions. The IMA National Relay Meet. Feel the speed. Witness the greatness.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Friday, the 14th of February. Open line edition this morning, which means listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling in and share your views, share your concerns this morning. No particular subject light dominating, so we, of course, doesn't hear from you this morning. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. Good morning, caller, in your live.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
And happy Valentine to you.
Same to you, man.
And a special happy Valentine to all of Grenadians all over in the national Grenada, and especially to us in Grenada. I want to make a special appeal to drivers and pedestrians who frequently throw garbage all over the place. We love our country. We just celebrated 51 years, and we are very prideful and patriotic about our country. And I think we must take a little more pride and dignity in the way that we handle our usage of our food, especially we eat before we buy food, we buy drink, we enjoy it, and then we take the empties and just dump it on the side of the road, in the bushes, all over. I'm a frequent person who walks around, and I see a lot of garbage around the place, especially in Glen's area.
Right.
And I know one of the reasons why Glen's have so many garbage is because they have a lot of festive activities taking place in Glen's. And probably they don't have enough garbage bins around when they have those things. We need to encourage people to use the garbage bins. It's really distasteful and very unsightly that we are throwing garbage all around the place like that. We need to move away from that kind of attitude, that kind of habit. And teach our young ones are learning that, so our adults need to set examples for them that they must not throw the garbage around. But another reason I want to mention that we must be more patriotic, because we are spending money, the government, to pay people to clean, and if this is how we treat in our country, we will have to be paying more money, more tax money will be coming out of our pockets to pay cleaners for the streets, and we could stop that.
All
we
right.
fill our pockets with money and buy food, take our garbage, and go with them and empty them discreetly. This is my opinion to all lovers of Grenada.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and great contribution there from the caller. And I think it's something that affects everyone. No one likes to be driving around and looking at garbage. You know, it's unsightly for a beautiful island. 435-2041. And here's a contribution from someone via the WhatsApp that's similarly interesting. If you want to understand the significance of Bishop and Gary on the $50 bill and to independence, come on, someone just threw me off there a wee bit. Let me see if I could get that rectified. Okay, yes. And they're saying that look at how the St. George's University introduced by Gary, complementing the airport built by Bishop. These are still the two most transformational pillars of the economy to date. The message is unity. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, you are live. We lost that caller there. We moved to the another line. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're certainly welcome. Good morning, and you're live. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're live.
And I also want to say good morning to Miss Jeremiah. And Miss Jeremiah, I miss your voice on the radio. Anyhow, there is a video going around with a woman. I can't say if it's the mother of the child, but a woman beating up a little child, a young child. Mm-hmm. And, it is very sickening to look at, yeah? But then what came to my mind is there are many frustrated women bringing up children, parents bringing up children. And I just looked back and I thought that maybe this system needs to look at how they can marry what is happening with childcare. For example, GT, do you know that a child cannot be accepted, will not be accepted in the government's daycare before 6 months? Yes. Yet the government gives 3 months. Mm-hmm. The government gives 3 months maternity leave. Yes. But the daycare, the government daycare, will not accept the child until the child is 6 months. So what should happen between that time? That's interesting, yeah. Right. So I would like them to have a little look at that. Maybe they can add another department to the daycares for the younger babies, maybe, yeah? Yes. Because private homes are coming up, yes, private daycares now, so parents are forced to put them in those private daycares, which are costly. Yeah, and we are not sure that they are under the watchful eyes of the government too, because the government has rules that no more than 6 children to a caregiver and all that, yes, but we don't know that will carry over in the private homes. So that is something that the system needs to address, yeah? All right. And another one is parents finishing their jobs at 4. Children finishing school at 2:30. You are from town. I know you remember the days when little children used to sit downstairs in the public library to wait for their parents. But that is no more. So that is another area that needs to be looked at. Yeah? All right. Thank you so much. I just thought I would throw that out so that, when they're looking at, they must know, people must become aware of frustration of I certainly do understand, because, for parents especially, some schools, they let children off, I should say, at 2 p.m. Parents don't get off from work until 4. Think about the problem within there. You understand? Yes. And I had an issue. I had an issue with the school my children are attending because of that. I was told I have to pick them up at 2, but if I don't get off work at 4, and I was going to be penalized for late fees for not picking them up on time, and and stuff like that. But think about the time factor there. Right. Not everybody has an option of running away from work at 2 o'clock, right? I say run away as just a general talk. You understand? But not everybody has the option of running away from work at 2 o'clock to pick their children up. Even if you run away and you pick them up at 2, what do you do with them? Not all workplaces will allow you to bring them there. Exactly. So what do you do with them? So I'm saying that is a big frustration that it ought not to be carried on in the future. It needs addressing. Some remedy needs to be put in place there. Yeah, because it's causing too much frustration, Did you see the video where the woman was beating up the child? No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't. The child looked like barely 7, and she stomped the child, she kicked the child. I mean, come on. That's locally, right? Locally done? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. You can't know because the person who filmed it from behind. I don't know if that person was scared of the woman, so they did not intervene. But they filmed it from her back, so you can't see the face. But she's from Negro thing, right. And the baby and everything. So I don't know if it's in the Caribbean or if it's in an African state. I don't know. Because sometimes you can't tell the difference because they were in the bushes, she brought the child there to beat up the child, All right. Yes, Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution as always. Have a good morning. Folks, let's go back to the phone. Of course, line number 2. Caller, your life. Good morning.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
To your listeners and viewers.
I appreciate your patience, sir. Good morning.
Yes, thanks. I want to draw a concern to, since after, I don't know, to reach to those entities, sometimes there'll be serious problems, like cable and wireless and Digicel and all of that. After Hurricane Beryl, and I am calling from St. Patrick, after Hurricane Beryl, the devastation that took place in St. Patrick.
Yes.
In particular on this island. And what I think they endeavored to do was to change a lot of the lines on the pole. So we have a lot of less lines now on the pole. Malachi, behave. We have a lot of less lines now on the pole, which is very good. But all of the heavy lines they have took down from that poles after Beryl was left lying on the side of the road and in people's property. As I speak to you now, if you make a pass parole through St. Patrick, and it's the whole of St. Patrick, those lines are on the ground, even not on the side of the road, in people's property. And I'm asking myself, why do a company who has that just leave those things there? I mean, on this, I cannot understand it. And I've been trying to reach it, to reach that point.
Not to cut on your caller, but I know in areas I have seen that the company did have some, of course, trucks passing around and picking the lines up. Maybe they haven't gotten to your area yet, but I give them a little credit for. I'll give them a little credit for. Well, I have noticed it in areas that they were picking up. Mm-hmm.
Let me say something, GT. Previously, they had changed some lines.
Yes.
And those lines had copper in it, and because of that opportunity to make money, they was there even before the lines was down on the ground to take it up.
Okay.
But these lines now, I don't think have any value in them. And I mean, since after Beryl, and they're on the ground. And I think they should do something better than that. But before I go off, that lady before me raised a very important point. And maybe something what can be done, especially in the town of St. George. That a particular, and maybe there isn't a big enough space in town. I don't know, maybe part of the stadium could be used by that, but some maybe agency or group could come together and find a space where some extra class activities could take place from about 2:30 or 3 o'clock to after 4, whatever time, so that when parents who have to work up until 4:30, 5 o'clock, they can come there and collect their children.
There are schools who offer the after care. There are some schools who do offer that, that goes up to probably for 4 o'clock.
I wouldn't like it to be of a classroom nature. Mm-hmm. Something where they could do something extra, maybe some craft, some sort of thing that could keep them involved for that period of time until the parents come and take them up. Maybe somewhere in town. I've seen it myself. It is a concern to me. Another concern I have is the unattended young children walking the street of St. George's. I mean, some of them 4 and 5 years old, and there are no adults with them. I mean, maybe you groom them so early, but I think it's also a risk. That is my point this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your contribution. Caller, you're live. Good morning via WhatsApp. Good morning.
Morning, TT.
Good morning.
Morning, GT, and morning to your listeners and your viewers. I mean, I think what we need in this country is to look at how we have been engineering our whole way of life. Ever since the invasion, we have dismantled various organisms that helped to keep the society together before, prior to revolution and even during the revolution. And to me, we are just going down a downward spiral, because as we put life on the market, as you have in the United States, where you have to pay for everything, and if you don't have money, couple smoke your pipe. And similarly, because we've been privatizing everything, including education and so on, as much as possible, although it's been such that people have been walking away from the public schools, and they have complaints because maybe some of the conditions and so on. But even when you go in the private schools, things are not as au fait as we would like it, because the market doesn't care about life, it cares about profit. So we have to be careful. We have seen the rise of the proliferation of convalescent home or old people's home. All the things that people think they could make money the same way, like, I mean, so many people are in the bus industry where although the services you get from transportation, public transportation in Grenada, leave a lot to be desired. So we need to ask ourselves, what kind of society we need? Do we need a society there, if you could make money, then that's it, or what about contribution of persons in terms of to help to perpetuate the society in a decent way? I mean, people are concerned about Trinidad and Tobago. I remember going to school in Trinidad in the 70s and being concerned based on what I've known here. Although we had our political strife here, the kind of waywardness that was taking place in Trinidad because the presence of money, oil money, and we see what happened. And we want to make the same mistake, and we've been making the mistake. And let me give you an example how we've continue to dismantle our society. We were told that the stadiums would bring so much opportunities and blah 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 for us. We were told, okay, so let's sacrifice. We take the pavilion, we take the other pieces of playing field that people had opportunity, young people in particular, to congregate and to recreate and so on. Those are not available anymore. So the neighboring villages, whether it's Pontinol, Cherry Hill, Monge, River Road, and so on, and St. George, in the tongue of St. George, there's nothing. So, and if you want the use of the stadium, you have to pay for it. So what we do, we're telling people let's modernize, and then we disenfranchising them, we dislocating them, and then people complaining that, I mean, of everything, whether it's the telephone, I mean, we need to really arrest the situation and decide, okay, we want a society where people engage with each other. We look at all the security stuff we're doing. And one of the signs is that look at all the security officers. When I was growing up, you had little security officers, same people, but people had a sense of boundaries. Now, there's no sense of responsibility. Everybody just doing, look at the market. I mean, something has to happen, and we have to stop complaining and challenge each other to be honest. We are not an honest people. And as the Reverend said years ago, we are a bunch of thieves. Thanks.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution. Let's go back to the phone line again on the direct line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, I beg your indulgences for 1 minute.
I beg of you to be brief. Go right ahead, please.
Mr. Telesford, I'm listening to the brothers and sisters expressing their views and so on the status of this country, and it tells us one thing absolutely clearly, Mr. Telesford. This country has been derailed, and we have to put it back on track. The comments made by one of your female callers a while ago related to children was perfect observation. But this is not of today. This is of years. Why aren't we correcting or at least trying to? No, the fact is this. If we believe for one moment, brothers and sisters, that these demagogues that pose as politicians will correct it, we joke and you're wasting time. Only a people can save a people. Or if you wish to say, the people can save a people. Mr. Telesford, I beg you. Somebody on the internet there, I think it's what you call it again? YouTube. There's a short video, 3 to 4 minutes, entitled Constituent Assembly, Purpose and Practical Examples. Constituent Assembly. I urge you one of these days in your Open Air program, Open Line program, to just play that video for the Grenadian people. I urge you Grenadians, Google it, or you call it Google or Google. You know, type it in there and understand. People of countries ought to come to, when you have all these problems derailing and disagreements, you need to reconstitute your nation with the involvement of all. There is a way to do it through the Constituent Assembly. There is a way. Put your act together as Grenadians. You cannot sit and depend on politicians to correct it. They won't. understand it. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, sir. Have a good morning.
Forward.
Blessings goes out to you. Hey, folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. We come back in the final segment of the program this morning. Don't touch it out. We'll be right back after the break.
In Grenada, sports aren't just a game. Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting, and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Union to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. We're inside of the final segment, final 15 minutes or so left on today's program. We go back to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. And caller, you're live. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
And a pleasant morning to your listening audience. Now, sir, after 51 years of independence and a constitution that was given to us by our colonial masters, and 40 years of NNP and NDC, and yes, we come a long way. But none of them could blow their political horn like if it's a wedding and they are inviting us to the reception. Because after 40 years, Mr. Cardo, they have no significant, sustainable landmark to show. And just like one of your earlier callers pointed out, ma'am, thanks for pointing it out. We have the School of Med under Sir Eric Matthew Gary in his time, and then we have the airport today. So what I'm saying here, sir, is this. When you look at those who was detained without trial and was categorized as counter-revolutionaries, when we look at that, I say the end justify the means. Because you know why I say that, sir? It's because some of them that was detained, they had the opportunity to come out and be prime minister. They had the opportunity to come out and be ministers of government and hold other, important position in this country. What did they do? What did they do? They had the same opportunity, and they could not have that. They did not make the kind of impact like what was made before. Look at today, sir. We're still struggling with health, agriculture, and we still struggle with education. Yes, they're trying their best, but that's what it is supposed to be. And look at how far back things was being done between 79 and 83. Look at how education was. Look at the healthcare system, the efforts that was being made there in that sector then, and 41 years later. Look at where we are today. So when we name Sir Eric Matthew Gary as a hero, and we name Maurice Bishop as a hero, the proof is in the pudding. Have a pleasant weekend, sir.
Same goes out to you, sir. Have a good one yourself. 435-2041. Let's take some contributions from the WhatsApp. We also want to take some contributions from the Facebook before we do entertain another caller. The need to collaborate with other nations in terms of trade and addressing global issues doesn't take anything away from a country's independence. However, when we have to depend on countries to provide necessities, for our citizens. It shows our economic independence on others. United States need to trade and collaborate with other countries, but does it depend on any other help, of course, that with grants and economic resources to meet the needs of their people? That's a contribution from someone via the WhatsApp. Call your life. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good.
Just quickly, the greatest leader and the greatest prime minister that ever passed in this country is Sir Eric Matthew Gary. When you take into consideration the struggles he had to go through, he never went to a secondary school, and he was responsible for black people working in banks today, and the privilege of to enjoy that we have to vote. It was Gary. He stood up against a black man stood up against the colonial masters at that day. Uneducated, Gary was the greatest. I respect all the leaders, but the worst that ever passed through this stage was Morris Bishop, because you don't solve problems with violence. That's what I don't understand. People are not saying that Gary was a saint, right? If Gary, I say some of them people probably say he did a lot of wrong. Fine, I have no problem with that because there's no perfect persons. But two wrongs don't make a right. Gary was not personally involved in like how Morris was personally involved according to Winston Wright and other people. People was that man committed the most atrocities under the stage. It was Morris Bishop. People was afraid of that, and to be given first of all, he suspended the Constitution, suspended my rights. And when you look at his track record, everything was violence. Could you imagine? All of them was big educated people, because Morris was a man that he was educated in England, big cream of the crop, because them people is white people. You come back from England, you have a problem, you take over the MGM, because MGM was now his party, the jewel, and then it comes to NGM. You have a problem, you mean you can't solve it, a simple problem. They should get Gary to solve the problem for them. You have to take a gun and shoot down everybody on the boat. Is that the way you solve problems? And the revolution collapsed. So I don't know what people say Morris is this hero. This man destroyed this country. People was afraid. They couldn't live in. Before you say hate, you was in prison without charge or trial. People don't understand what that man do to this country. He destroyed this country. Anyway, so I'll finish with it. But today is Valentine's Day, and I want to say it's a day of love. And if you say you love somebody, people that always think it has to do with sex. It doesn't really have to do with sex. You could tell someone you love them. Husbands, tell wives that you say I love you. Vice versa. And parents, say I love you to your children every day. When you say I love you to somebody, it helps to build their esteem and make the person feel good about themselves. And eventually, we'll have a better world. I think that what the world needs today is love. I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I'm this great preacher of love, but I would love to see a world where people all live in peace, harmony, and love, and from today, try to tell somebody that you love them. Try to tell somebody that I care. You care. Doesn't necessarily mean that anything sexual. So, my friend, do have a great day, and remember, love your people. All right?
Same goes out to you, my dear. Have a good one. 435-2041, 435-2041. And it's an open line edition this morning here on the program, folks. Let's go back to the line and take another call. Call your life. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, everybody talk about Morris Bishop. Gary was not a good fella. The same as Morris Bishop. But you know, Gary was Morris Bishop's godfather. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Gary was Morris Bishop's godfather because Morris Bishop was born in Aruba. And at the time, Mr. Rupert Bishop was in Aruba. And knowing Gary as a friend, he invited Gary to be Morris Bishop's godfather. And Morris Bishop come now and turn the gun on Gary. And this is what Morris Bishop taught all the nation to shoot one another, to turn the gun on one another.
All right. Thank you so much. 445-2041. We have approximately 5 minutes left on today's program. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, GP, I'll come back to support the
Be brief. I beg of you to be brief, please. Huh?
Yes, I'll be brief. To talk about the children, the daycare and things, I wish the some of them hotels in the south could have a little lenient and the newborn mothers, the new mothers. They stay home 3 months. After 3 months, they come back to work. Instead of putting them to work on the night shift, because as they relate about the daycare hours already, they could able to knock at 4 o'clock to come and pick up the baby, or ask the daycare to if they could hold it for an hour again and to take up the baby. But when you put them to work, the evening shift, sometimes 12 o'clock, they reach back at the home.
Caller, sacrifice is sometimes needed, and sometimes the business, that's the available slots that are available. So I understand what you're saying, I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes it's not always that easy to give someone that particular time to work, of course, to assist them. You understand? And I certainly do understand, but
listen, JT, is not 5 mothers that come out on maternity leave one time. Sometimes it's only one. So they could flex and do something for this parent.
All right. Well, I certainly hope the businesses who are doing that may listen to you and still be able to.
Is that if you get a better out of her.
Thank you so much. Right. Have a good morning. Call up via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you?
Doing great.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. My contribution this morning to your open line is the issue of transportation in Grenada. Mm-hmm. Now, I heard one caller spoke about the number of vehicles they saw on the port. Now, it's like a chicken and an egg. If you cannot get good public transportation, the only alternative left for you is to seek your own, correct?
It's all right. You're so right about that.
Exactly. Now, everywhere in the world, public transportation is subsidized by the people, which we call government. Everywhere. The fares you pay in the box does not cover the cost of providing the service. It does not. The government subsidizes it, either in the infrastructure to provide it, the fuel, the salaries to pay the drivers and such. Now, I understand the government is trying to do some things to implement some type of transportation, starting with the school children and such like that. Now, if we look at this just the school children, that would be a great help, because now the school children is no longer competing with people trying to get home from work or get to work during that time, right? So that would ease up that. Now, we have to start looking at the economy. Without transportation for people to move, the economy stalls at a given time. For instance, if we start at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, everybody is moving. After that time, the people that operates the businesses, the buses, taxis or whatever, they stop operating because there is a element that comes out in the nighttime. They don't want to pay the bus, they want to rob them. Now, if you have your family to support you, have to think about my public safety. Am I going to go and transport people at a time in the night? No, I'm not going to do it. The risk is far too great for the reward, right? So I'm not going to go and live my life, lose my life, or be severely harmed for $2.50. You understand what I'm saying?
Certainly
so in this now, there have to be some structures put in place to change something. Maybe you're not having cash fares, but a token system where you buy the token, you give the token to the bus operator, and he redeem it in some agency for the monies. Yeah, or it get deposited into his account directly through his monies.
The option is folks should just start thinking differently.
Change this. We have to start thinking different, completely different, yeah? Even some of the ride share apps and stuff that I understand there was one trying to start here in Grenada. I haven't seen it. I don't understand how well it's taken off. All those type of things will kind of help. Yeah. So if you're having a business in Sotez, in St. David's, and you need to get transportation there to, entertain yourself, to do your business, you can now be able to move around by the transportation method that you choose. But right now, there's not a choice, and there's a lot of problems with it, and we as Grenadians need to sit down, really ventilate it, and come up with a solution for it. It's killing the economy, it's killing the socialization, it is really and truly causing people to basically cocoon in one place, and that's not good. We have to be able to move effectively throughout the nations. That's my contribution this morning.
Thank you, Billy. Thanks so much, and have a great day, sir. A great contribution you from there. We'll take our final caller on the program this morning, then we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Caller, your life. Good morning.
Morning, GT. Happy Valentine's to all the ladies in Grenada, around the world and the globe. To the point, a prominent preacher came on and said food security, we're not concentrating hard enough. Trump is going to blockade the food just now. I hope we don't start a third world war. And the prominent preacher says we need to put food in the ground because food is going to be hard to come by. Just GM food coming in a container might stop at any minute now. And the other thing is that when Trump send these people back, there's several islands that say Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. There's about 30 other islands and lots of land wasting. We need to see if we can get these people to help us with food security, get foods in the ground, because we don't know with the hurricane coming and with the war that Trump trying to start. We need to get, like yesterday, have a blessed weekend.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Caller, you're live. Good morning. You're my final caller for the morning. Go right ahead, please.
Pleasant good morning, sir. Thank you for taking the call.
I beg of you to be brief, please. Give you my final call, and we're already at 30 seconds after 10 o'clock.
I just want to call upon the nation this morning that we put our trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. We have been saying that we're celebrating 51 plus, but are we looking to the Lord Jesus Christ for our help? The Bible tells us, vain is the help of man, and the nation that forget God, they shall be doomed. Let us trust in the true and living God, the Lord Jesus Christ. We are not seeking God. We are looking to man, and that is why we are failing miserably. We need to come to the Lord Jesus Christ and repent and cry out to God for the nation, every situation. The Lord Jesus Christ is the answer. May God bless us and help us to turn around this morning. Know there is a God that is looking on, and He cares for us as a people. God bless and all the best. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good morning yourself. Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. So our final program also for the week. I'll be back with you next week once your money permits, health, strength, and everything else. In between, I'll be back with you. Have a good one, folks, and have a great day what's left of it today, and a great weekend to come. Goodbye.